Thank you everybody for joining. I've been really looking forward to this session. I've been wanting to do something like this for some time, and depending on how this one goes, I may do one every quarter. So hopefully you'll find it interesting. Okay, so most of you that I can see are logged in will know who I am. So I'm one of the sales executives here at Provident, and I've been working here now for a few years. What we're going to be looking at today, so this is the agenda, okay? So it's split into 3 sections. The first section, we're going to be looking at the features and enhancements that are now in self-serve and enterprise, okay? So this is the last 2 releases. So it's this quarter and last quarter's release that we'll be running through. Second section will just be enhancements in Sell and Serve. Okay, so Sell and Serve are the cloud-based products for Sugar Cloud. And then we will, if I can speak, we will finish the 3rd section on Sugar Market. Although you are all muted right now, there will be a few minutes at the end of each section where we're going to unmute you, and you can ask me any questions about what you've just seen, give me any feedback, what you do like, what you don't like, and you can also turn on your cameras as well if you want, so I can see some other people more than just me moving around there. Right, so let's get started. So the following is section 1, and we're going to be looking at the enhancements that are now in a Sell, Serve and Enterprise. So the first one then being, if I just look back at the agenda, was the light and dark themes. So I'll be flipping between the 2 tabs, okay? Because I'm not just going to take you through a bunch of slides. I'm actually going to be showing you stuff in Sugar. So here we go. Sugar. Well, hopefully, immediately you've seen some changes, okay? We have new charts. I'm coming to these though soon, and a new look and a new feel, okay? But the first thing I'm going to take you through, I'm going to try and stick to the order of my agenda. Those that have had demos with me before will know that, you know, I kind of digress. So that's why I've put an agenda in place to keep me on track. Okay, so there's a new light and dark theme now in Sugar, which users can go ahead and update in the profile. So to do this, you come to your user profile and we go to advanced. And here we have appearance. Okay, so as you can see, I'm on the regular theme, which is called the light theme. Let's go ahead and change it to dark, and then you can see what that looks like. Wow, there you go. And there is the dark theme of Sugar. Obviously, I've customized my toolbar here at the top to be blue, but you know you can go ahead and do that on your browser. So there's your dark theme for Sugar. Right, let me just flip that back because I'm so used to working in the light mode. I'm going to stick with what I know and continue in light mode. And then we are going to take a look at the new calendar. This is one of the most exciting parts. It's all very exciting, but this one in particular, I've been waiting a very long time for. Okay. So the new calendar. The new calendar module has been converted from the legacy interface. Okay, so that little screen you're just seeing there with the red, blue and green icons, you should all be familiar with that. That is what the calendar module looks like right now. Okay, but in this quarter's release, it's going to be updated. So we've now got more robust calendaring options. We can create calendars that show events from any module, and I'm going to show you examples of these. And we can also define a unique color for a type of event. So I'm just going to hop back over here and we're going to have a look. First thing I want to show you though is we can now have on our dashboards, if you want, a calendar view. Okay, obviously we couldn't do this before. We can toggle it between work week, we can look at different users' calendars, but I'm just going to hop directly now into the calendar module. So this is what it looks like immediately. I've got my default view here set to timeline. That's why I'm just seeing the timeline for today. We now have all of these different toggles: day, work week, week, month, agenda, timeline, and scheduler. If I flip it over to work week, you will see that this is my calendar. And I've also got Jim's calendar. So I'm logged in as the admin user, and then Jim is one of my users on this particular instance. So what we can see now is when I hover over it, I can see that this is a meeting. I can see that myself and Jim are on this particular meeting. I can see tasks. We can hover over, we can double click to open that. We can click anywhere on the calendar to go ahead and schedule something. But what's really cool, so if I just go back to the calendar module for you, is down here, I'm logged in as Jenny, so she's the admin user, but we can see that I can have multiple calendars for different types of activities or events. So what you're seeing on the screen right now, if I just take off Jim's calendar as well, what you're seeing on the screen right now is not a great deal, to be honest, but we would be seeing any opportunities that are closing. Okay, if I pull out this one here, we can see calls, meetings, and tasks. Let me just go back to a month view. There we go. And then I can pull on tasks. So I'm logged in as admin. Obviously, I haven't got a lot going on in my particular calendar, but if I have a look at Jim's calendar and I pull in his meetings, there we go. And then I can pull in Jim's opportunities as well. Okay, so we can color coordinate any type of activity or event in the calendar. So just to show you what I mean by that. So go to calendar and I go to view calendars. If you really, really want, you can also still look at the legacy calendar as well. But if I go into view calendars here, we will see that I have a calendar set up for calls, meetings, tasks, and opportunities. If I click into this one here, you're then going to see that the any opportunities that are appearing on the calendar, so it will appear on the date of the expected close date here. You can see that I have, oh, is everything okay? I've just got a notification to say participants can now see my screen. Did it just dip out or are we all good? Letitia? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Thanks, guys. I just had a thing saying, oh, the participants can now see your screen. I thought, so everything I've just shown you couldn't see. Thanks, guys, for confirming. Right. So as you can see here, here's my opportunities. We can see that I've selected the color to be this color for the opportunities visible on the calendar. And then you can see we've got templates here. So there's some tool tips and we can pull in the variable tags for the fields. So when you're hovering over the event in the calendar, you know, you can choose what you'd like that to see and what you'd like it to say. If I go ahead and create a new calendar, oh, by the way, you can, once you've created a calendar type, i.e. opportunity, meeting, call, contact, or something that's got a date on it, you can then go ahead and actually create an opportunity directly from the calendar if you really want. But if I go to create calendar, this is the modules that you can go ahead and choose that you'd like to see on the calendar. And then once we've selected something, we then choose the color that we'd like the contacts to appear on in the calendar, for example, and then there's these all other settings here. So really, really good. Really, really pleased that this has now come to Sugar. I've been waiting a very, very long time for this. And the amount of times I've been asked, can we color coordinate the calendar in Sugar? The answer now is yes. So opportunities, meetings, tasks, calls, any custom modules as well, they will be supported by the calendar. So yeah, moving on. By the way, I know you can't talk to me right now, but if you do have any questions, you can either save them for the session when I open up at the end of this particular part here, or you can put them in the Q&A box as well. Just if you want to put them in there while you're thinking of them, then I'll make sure we cover those when we break out. Okay, so next, the list views have been updated. So just going to go on to a list view. Hopefully you're all familiar with what a list view looks like. And obviously if we wanted to edit the information in here, traditionally we'd have to go here and hit edit and then this appears, or we'd need to go into the record. But what Sugar have done now is I can double click. I can go ahead and double click on here and update this information and then hit save. Okay, so one less click there for you to go ahead and update any information. Also, what's worth noting, if I just go into an account record, it also works on sub-panel views. Okay, you're going to see a new user interface here right now. This has been updated. So, you know, the little curved edges and all the sub panels being in their own little bubbles, that's all being updated. But again, we can now double click in sub panels as well. Okay, what do I have next? So looking at the agenda, we have the timeline dashlet. Okay, so some of you should know about this dashlet already because it was in the last release of Sugar. So it's what's called the timeline or the interactions dashlet. For those that are late joining, we are still on the self-serve and enterprise enhancements, and don't worry, this is being recorded, so we can send you the recording for anything you may have missed up to now. That's fine. Okay, so the timeline dashlet and filter. So you can see here, let me just make this a little bit bigger. This is now how you can customize your dashlets as well, by the way. So what we can see is I'm looking at Riviera Hotels, which is an account. The timeline dashlet, by the way, appears on accounts, contacts, escalations module, which we're going to be covering in a moment, leads, opportunities, and quotes. Okay, so basically it's logging all of the events that have happened with that record in a chronological order. So that's what this looks like here. This has been in Sugar, but the new update means we can now filter. So I can say, just show me account updates, or just show me calls, or just show me, and so on. So we can now filter between the activities on the account timeline. On the account timeline dashlet. And of course, this dashlet will also appear in the focus drawers as well. I'm just going to try that out here. So open up the focus drawers. So just so you know, this icon here, you should see this if you are on the last quarter release of Sugar. This is your focus drawers. So here you go. Here's the timeline dashlet. And again, the filtering all works in here as well. Also, if your Sugar instance is integrated with Sugar Market, so you're using SugarCell Enterprise or and Sugar Market, you can now configure the Sugar Market synchronization settings to show the full customer journey in this timeline dashlet on the account, lead, and contact. Okay, so the Sugar Market activities will be chronologically juxtaposed with the records CRM activities, so offering, you know, an uninterrupted view of the entire customer journey. And I know some of you have been asking for that as well, so you should, that's I just wanted to point that out as well. That's also important. Okay, back to are we sticking on track with the agenda? Let's have a look. Where are we next? I think it's escalations. Yes, perfect. Okay. So you may have seen there's a new module called the Escalations Module. This was released, I believe, in last quarter's release, but there's been some updates this quarter. So this new module, the Escalations Module, basically contains records representing an escalation of another module's record, so such as accounts. The record could be escalated for many reasons, such as inactivity or being at risk. And I'm now going to show you this, how it looks and how we use it in Sugar. So just what we can see here on this particular slide is at the top, we are looking at the account header, and we can see there's a red flag here to say it's been escalated. When we're looking at the accounts in the list view as well, there's also an escalated icon in that list view. So if I go to my good old trusty Riviera Hotels, as you can see here, it has been escalated. And here we can see it's been escalated. So just a bit further down here, you will notice there is a new sub panel called Escalations, as well as in the available modules, there's also one Escalations here as well. So, you know, you could use this, you know, it's good, you know, for account management. Customer is at risk of renewing, or, you know, you could even have a workflow that's picking up the last time you spoke to a customer. And if that customer hasn't been spoken to in 12 weeks, you might call that at risk, you know, for an escalation. It's whatever you define as something, you know, you want to measure and something you want to be alerted of, just to be more proactive. Or, you know, if you're using SugarCRM and you're using the cases part and the ticketing, you can also escalate tickets, you know, if they need extra special attention, for example. Anyway, so I've created an escalation here. Then I'm just going to go ahead, just for the sake of today's demo, and create another one. So I'm going to head to create another escalation. I'm just going to call this at risk. We can see that it's related against the customer. And then, you know, this is a Sugar standard module. So all of this can be configured, the drop downs, you know, what the layouts, you can configure this like you can any other module. But as escalations comes off the shelf, is it a customer requested or internally requested? I'm going to put this internally requested, you know, and it could be that I've just spoken to the customer and they've kind of shared some feedback just in a conversation, but I picked out a few things from that feedback that I feel we could improve on. So I might, you know, list all of that in here. What's the reason? Is it inactivity, lack of progress, customer deadline, at risk? Again, you can put your own options in there. And I'm just going to hit save. So what it would do is on the account screen, this was already here, I know, but if it wasn't, we would now start seeing escalated. We can see all of the different escalations here. And you could have a BPM, business process manager, a workflow. You could have a workflow that's basically alerting a team of people if an escalation has been escalated. And then obviously that team of people can go on and do what they need to do. So yeah. New module there, escalations. Okay, so the next one we are going to look at is multi-select attachments. Another one I've been waiting for a really long time for. So you can now, in Sugar, upload multiple attachments in one go to cases, email, knowledge base, and notes. Okay, so I use the notes module lots. Okay, so whenever I'm speaking to any of you and collecting your requirements for a new integration, or I'm speaking to a new customer, I like to put everything in the notes related to the prospect or the account. So just going back to here, create note. What I can do now in here, I can hit browse. Apologies, I have no idea what's going to pop up. That'll do. And I can go ahead and select all of those and push them in. Let's go ahead with these. Open. All three of those will now be available to save. Okay, if you remember, right now currently you're having to do this one by one. Sometimes I have 10 things to upload, so we can now do it all in one go. Sugar info, save, ding ding, saved. I now have 3 attachments in one note record. I'm super happy with that one, doesn't it? Okay, we're now going to have a look at action buttons. Okay, so hopefully some of you may have already seen the action buttons. If I just move over to my slide, there we go. Hopefully, yes, hopefully you've seen these, because they were released in last quarter's release, again in self-serve and enterprise. But they've had some updates this quarter. Okay, so hence why I'm doing this session, rolling 2 releases into one. So action buttons are basically custom buttons that can be added to records to enable users to perform quick actions directly from records, such as sending an email, creating or editing a related record, opening an external web page. The action buttons are implemented as a field type in Studio. So if you're an admin user of your Sugar, you'll know what Studio is. And when you go to add a field, you will now see one called action button. And they can easily be extended by using Sugar Logic and the Sugar BPM. So just to run through then an example here. So as you can see on the screen, there's an example there with a button, as well as here. And you can merge documents and so on with them. But the example I have built today is here. I've created a little pink button at the top here called Email Team. So if I'm speaking to this customer and I need to bring to attention to the customer services team or the operations team, I need to bring something to a team's attention, I can hit Email Team here. And here we go. So this account needs your attention, send. So, you know, you can, I won't send that, but you can, you know, use these buttons to do all sorts. You know, I'm in the middle actually of on our own CRM creating one to say send NDA. At the moment, I have to mail merge an NDA and then manually update it. Whereas if I just had a button here, it would go ahead and do all of that for me. So you can use these action buttons for numerous different things. I suggest having a look, looking at and a play in your sandboxes. And if you did need further information, you can ask me about that or look at Sugar's documentation. Okay, last section now of this part is, let's go back over here. Sorry, I'm hoping this is flowing okay and I'm not going from here to here to here. So please, you know, let me know if any feedback. Another exciting one, we have new chart graphics. So users now have the option to display the data as a chart, which then obviously allows to drill downs into each segment of the associated record. Sorry, I have a chat just popping up. Thank you. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we have two new charts. We have a donut chart and a tree map. So you can see the descriptives there about what each one is. I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like. So just going back to my homepage over here, the first thing I noticed when I logged into the new version was the colors of the reports, the tables behind them. You know, they're so much nicer than what they were. It's almost refreshing. It's almost looking at a set of brand new coloring pencils in a packet. So yeah, new chart graphics there. In terms of the tree map and donut, here's an example of your donut chart. Again, I can click into this. As you would expect, all the drill downs are as expected here, just like they were. And if I show you a tree map one. Okay, so I did one example of a tree map. Let me just see if I can find it. Oh, that's very colourful. Loving these new colours. Actually, let me see if I can, hang on. I should have favorited it. Why didn't I favorite it? I did do a tree map example. Let's just try and change this. Ah, this is my tree map report. No, the colors are not customizable. Okay, so opportunities is one of new or in progress. Opportunity call status is scheduled. So this is basically looking at open opportunities that have calls or don't have calls. And here's the tree map. I'm sure you could think of better report examples that are better suited to a tree map, but there you go. Obviously, the fact that these are all equal elements on the chart means that everything has got one, whereas if this had 10, it would be a bigger element and then the others would be smaller. So there's your tree map and your new report graphics, donut, tree map, new colors. Dashlets are definitely more vibrant in the new interface, I think. It just reminds me of a rainbow. And yeah, they all work the same, so you can still drill down. The next part we are going to take a look at is only available in Sell and Serve. So if you're on Enterprise or Professional, then this is not available. But I'd recommend, if you are only on Enterprise and Professional, stay tuned, because there might be a few things here that you might be looking for. So we will get started. The first one, how many of you use the PDF manager in Sugar at the moment? In the admin, there's a PDF manager, and you're kind of limited to the PDFs you can build at the moment. And, you know, there's no easy way of building a template unless you know a bit of HTML. So Sugar now has doc merge. So doc merge pulls data from Sugar records into professional quality documents. Okay, I'll come back to the chat in a second. Documents such as contracts, quotes, NDAs, letters, labels, through to custom templates, that you can design according to your business and your business needs. So Doc Merge basically has the ability to extract data from all sort of sidecar modules and their related modules into individual or multiple digital documents in minutes. Doc Merge is available out of the box with Sal and Serve, and it includes the following features, as you can see here. So we can generate docx, Excel, PowerPoint, and PDF documents. You can merge multiple records into one document. I am going to show you an example in just a second. And then we can see, and then we can see the how the template's put together. If you've heard of or are currently using WDocs, when you upgrade to the latest version of Cell, if you are using Cell or Serve at the moment, this will replace WDocs. Okay, so this is, but if you are on Enterprise and Professional, you can still have something like this, but you would need to purchase WDocs. So you can ask your account manager about that. Right, let's go and have a look. So, show a document template. Okay, let's go. I can't remember which one I built now. I think there's several. Let's go back to Riviera Hotels. So what we can see under here, down here, I've got Doc Merge or Doc Merge to PDF. Doc Merge on its own means to doc merge to a Word document, a document that's not a PDF, basically. But if I go to Doc Merge to PDF, it's then going to bring me up the next screen to say, great, which account do you want, which document do you want to merge with this account? So as you can see here, I've got an account plan, an account with all associated contacts, and then I have an NDA. So I'm going to go ahead and select the NDA. I'm going to get a little pop-up down here in the right-hand side in just a second. There we go. And this is basically saying, great, we're in the process of merging your document to a PDF. We're just validating all of the tags. The tags basically is the variable fields that are pulling from Sugar onto the document. And then the document is now ready. So that didn't take too long at all. What you'll notice is once that document has merged, it automatically stores a copy of it in the documents module in Sugar. Okay, so you don't need to merge it, then go ahead and attach it. It automatically pushes it in the documents module. I will show you what that looks like. So over here, we can go ahead and download the NDA by PDF. And this is kind of what it looks like. This is just a template I threw together. As you can see, it's got loads and loads of pages, but what we can see here, Riviera Hotels, the address, and then on the last page, I have some sign-in boxes, and it's pulled that through as well. So how are these templates put together then? So there's a new module called Document Templates, and this is where any template that you want to use to merge any documents will be stored. So as you can see, I have currently 4 templates in here, 3 of them to merge from the accounts record and 1 of them to merge from a meeting. So if I just go ahead and open up this particular template here. So you're basically putting your template together in Word. It's a mail merge effectively. So you're building your template in Microsoft Word. Once you've got that template built, you then need to get the tags from Sugar so that information knows where to merge to. And I'm just waiting for Microsoft Word to ping up on my screen right now. So if I can just scroll down here. So here, this is your field names within Sugar that the information is merging to, okay? Now, don't panic that you need to know all of the field names off the top of your head. You don't. Doc Merge includes a template builder. So down on my right-hand side of the screen right now, you'll see a Doc Merge tab. When I open that, I have here the template assistant. Open the template assistant, and then what we can go ahead and look at is fields. Select a module, account, go ahead and search, name, field, account name. Now, this is automatically copied to my clipboard, so if I paste that in there, so you're pasting it on your merge document, and then you can go ahead and look for everything else, every module, every field name. You've got dynamic elements and Sugar logic to also play with there as well. So template builder, doc merge into Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and PDF. Across any module and information from related modules. Okay, so and the formats come out really nice with doc merge as well. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Sugar Live. Okay, so Sugar Live was released some time ago actually in Sell and Serve. It came out in Serve first and then several months later was added to Sugar Sell. If you're unfamiliar with what Sugar Live is, let me or your account manager know and we can, you know, explain what it is. But basically the improvements that Sugar Live has had is basically all around the views. So we've got a compact view, the ability to see the data, and we'll just show you what those look like. So I don't have Sugar Live, but I've just pulled some screenshots on to show you. So this is Sugar Live. Sugar Live uses Amazon Connect, yes, for bot messaging, live chat on website and phone calls. And basically you've got like an agent screen. So if anybody does interact in a chat with you or comes through a routed bot, chat bot, then all of your agents on Sugar can see if they're online or offline, and then they can be routed to an agent based on department expertise or availability. So this is just to show you the compact view. So we can see the call summary here. We can also see, you know, do we want to put them on hold, mute them, or transfer them? But the good thing is we can see all of the information about that person that is on the phone with us right now. So the call's being logged, but we have the information about the person on the phone. Sugar Live full view. So this is basically looking at the contact full view. Again, we've got the call summary, but then we just have information about the contacts, their account, quote, opportunities, etc. And let me just check what my next slide is. Okay. Next, that's Sugar Live. Lead conversion improvements. So this is in Sell and Enterprise, okay? So obviously not in Serve, because Serve doesn't have any sales modules such as leads. So the lead conversion improvements basically lets us now, when we're working with a lead, obviously, hopefully you're aware of the button, and then we can go ahead and convert the lead. And at the conversion stage, we can create an account, a contact, and an opportunity. But what we can now do is add limitless revenue line items, okay? So those that are using revenue line items, and I do, so I'm really happy with this change, is I can go ahead and add more than one revenue line item now to make up that opportunity. We can quickly add product catalog records from the conversion screen as well, and cascade all opportunity values during the conversion. So I'll do an example of it for you. Let's go to leads. I'm flying through this. I think we're doing okay for time. Right, let's go over to this one here. Let's do convert. Create a new contact, fine. Let's create a new account, ProvidentCRM. Do I have any required fields here I need to do? No, let's create the account. And then create a new opportunity. Okay, perfect. And then underneath here, I have revenue line items. So I can go ahead and add that, add another one, just like we can when we're building an opportunity. Alternatively, I can just use the product catalog, which is how I tend to build out my revenue line items. So let's add this one and we'll add that one. Okay, perfect. Let's add one more. There we go. We've obviously got our sales stage. I do need to put an expected close date in here. That bit hasn't changed. Perfect. Required. There's obviously not an amount on that product in the product catalog. Fine. I can choose to set my expected close dates now from the opportunity and automatically cascade it through the revenue line items, which, if you remember, at the moment, we need to go in and update every single date on a revenue line item, which is what I've just done. That's a habit. I'm so used to doing that. And really, I could have just gone here and chosen the 2nd of March, and it goes and updates all of that anyway. So really good. Ability to, if it's a service product and it has a start date and an end date, then you can go ahead and go and cascade those through the revenue line items as well as the sales stages, whereas at the moment we need to do them individually. Okay, so that is the lead conversion improvement. So just having a quick look at the agenda, we're now moving on to the focus draws. Okay, I'll let you spend a second reading that, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you the focus draws. We had a quick glance at them earlier, which are currently available in Sugar Now, but the newest release actually gives us further information and customization abilities on the focus draw, just to make it more usable and more user-friendly, should I say. So let's go and look at focus draws. So a good example would be if I come to an account, let's go to the accounts list view, and here we have a focus draw. At the moment, until the latest release of Sugar comes through, we can't customize this. At the moment, we can just, you know, click through and look at these. But what we can do now is we can customize the focus draws for every element of the focus draw in Sugar Now. So we can expand, you know, basically like a dashboard, but, you know, you're adding your dashlets for a focus draw when you're looking at an account here. What's also quite cool now is they've basically done breadcrumbs on the focus draw now. So for example, if I look at Rubble Group opportunity, so I'm now looking at the focus draw for an opportunity. It might be that, you know, I don't particularly want this dashlet on there. I can take that off and replace it with another one. Let's get rid of this one, add a new dashlet. But then we then have further focus draws, so I can look at the customer. I then might want to look at the business center, and then, you know, as you so you can keep moving through the focus draws now, whereas you couldn't do that before. But it keeps a breadcrumb trail at the top here, so it knows how you got here by going through these two stages here. So if I just want to hop back over here, great. So it's actually just got a trail now, so you can flip between them. So the next following enhancements and features are only available in Sugar Market. I'll just bring this slide up. There's nothing for me to actually demonstrate or show, but those of you that are using Sugar Market, you will now see that in the latest release, there are 4 new improvements, which are quite, you know, substantial improvements. I've heard quite, you know, some things about from some of you, you know, about the email builder and that. So there's new enhancements there in Sugar Market. I'll leave that screen on for a moment. If I just have a look at the chat message we have here, and then, so do we have control over the colors? Yes, you can use hex codes in the colors for the calendar. Okay, so sorry, I missed that. I think there's one here as well saying, are colors customizable? I think that question came in when I was showing you reports. The answer to that is no. So the reports just work as they do now, but we have more of a color palette there. That's all I wanted to show you today. So I'm really, really hoping that me running through and showing some of these has been beneficial, because the only other way you'd know about these is if you sat and read Sugar's release notes, which is, you know, one big page of text. So I plan, if you think these are helpful, I plan on doing these from now on every quarter for every release that Sugar release.